The New York Mets have acquired shortstop Francisco Lindor and right-handed pitcher Carlos Carrasco from the Cleveland Indians. In return, the Indians will get infielder Andrés Giménez. I probably butchered that. Infielder Amed Rosario, right-handed pitcher Josh Wolf, and outfielder Isaiah Greene. I'll start with Lindor first. He's a four-time All-Star. He's a two-time Gold Glove winner. He's one of the best all-around players in the league. We all know this. For you baseball geeks out there. For 2017-2019, he averaged 34 home runs with a batting average of 2.78. And in 2020, he wasn't that great, but we all have our bad years. He had a .258 batting average, 8 home runs, 61 hits, 30 runs, 27 ribbies, and 236 at bats. As for Carlos Carrasco, he was this year's 2020 Comeback Player of the Year for the American League after he returned from a life-threatening chronic myeloid leukemia diagnosis. In 11 seasons, he's 88-73 with a 3.77 ERA, and he finished fourth in the AL Cy Young voting in 2017. And in 2020, he was 3-4 with a 2.91 ERA, and in 12 games, he had 68 innings pitched, 55 hits, 22 runs and earned runs, 8 home runs, 27 walks, and 82 strikeouts. This was reported by Mark Feinstein from MLB.com. First of all, I'm gonna start with myself, Mario, real quick before I give it to you. I just want to say congratulations to both of these men, for going to the Mets. There was rumors for the last 2 years that Lindor was going to be traded to a lot of these other teams, and the Mets finally moved in, and got him. And I think this is going to work out in their favor. I really do. But it's not just the Francisco Lindor trade that interests me a lot. It's the pitching. And the reason why it interests me, and the reason why I find it interesting in the guy Carlos Carrasco, and I think it's going to work in their favor, is because the Mets are really good at getting pitchers. Look at their starting rotation. Jacob deGrom, Marcus Stroman, and Noah Syndergaard. Now you're adding Carlos Carrasco as a fourth option. That's a really good lineup. And in my opinion, if you ask me, that's one of the best lineups in the entire league right there. If Noah Syndergaard can stay healthy, it's going to be one of the best pitching staffs in the league. And I think the Mets are starting off with that rebuilding process. And this is it. These are the two pieces that they need. And I think these are really great additions to the New York Mets.
I mean, I absolutely agree with you. First off, congratulations to Francisco Lindor and Carlos Carrasco. Let me start off with Francisco Lindor. It seems like the Mets are really starting to come into a win-now mode, opposed to drafting guys. And you obviously know, obviously they have one of the best pitchers in the league in Jacob deGrom, and they have Noah Syndergaard, Marcus Stroman, and like you said, adding Carlos Carrasco was a great fourth option. I absolutely agree with you. Here's the one thing about Carlos Carrasco that really interests me. Here's the one, about him going to the Mets in specific. Noah Syndergaard has been a very injury-plagued player. I think getting Carlos Carrasco was a great move, and I think most importantly, for if Noah Syndergaard were to get hurt again, because if Noah Syndergaard were to get hurt again, you have Carlos Carrasco, still, and as a third option. Right.
About him.
Right. And I mean, this was obviously a genius trade by the Mets. I don't think they got any prospects for it. I believe it was those guys right there. The guys you named, I don't believe any of them were prospects. And I think this is a steal. I don't say that a lot when it comes to trades, but this is definitely a steal. You took one of the best infielders in the game in Francisco Lindor. You took the comeback player of the year in Carlos Carrasco, who seems to be coming back into his game after having a tough battle with cancer and beating it, which congrats to him. Much respect to that.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, I gotta give the New York Mets a lot of credit here. It's starting to look like they're in win now mode with Pete Alonso, with Francisco Lindor,
Wilson Contreras,
absolutely, and all the pitchers and everybody that they have. And I think the Mets' future is looking very bright. I think them and the Brewers and the Padres. I think them and the Padres. I think they're starting to really turn to a bunch of two contenders right there. And if I'm the Dodgers, I'm very concerned.
I would be too. And the thing with the Mets is this, and the reason why I think they're getting these players is because they already had a good team. It's just
Right.
The connection and getting it going on 4 cylinders just wasn't going in their favor. But adding these players is a great idea, at least bolstering that bolstering that game plan, bolstering that strength on offense and defense. And I think Francisco Lindor was a great player to get. Not concerning that Robinson Cano is not going to be coming back this year,
Right.
because he got busted for PEDs again. But you got other players like you said, Pete Alonso, Michael Conforto is a very underrated right fielder in my opinion. He's one of the most underrated players in the league. And yeah, you got Steven Matz also in the bolstering that pitching staff too. So that's a really good. This is looking like a really good team.
Don't forget about Edwin Diaz.
Yeah, Edwin Diaz. Yeah, don't forget about him either. Yeah, he's one of the better closers in the game. I have to agree with that. But my problem with the Mets, they had all this talent and they just couldn't get it going. And I think they really now when I look at it, they get these two players, they need to get it going.
And that's exactly what Francisco Lindor brings, that win now mentality, because that's what he has. Francisco Lindor has always had that win now mentality. He was always a fighter. I mean, you look at the Cleveland Indians teams, who are now not the Cleveland Indians no more. They're going to change it, but you look at those Cleveland baseball teams, and again, they were always a contender. They were always a contender since they made it to the World Series. They've always been a contender. Even before that, they were. So I mean, you got to give credit. You got to give credit to where credit's due. The New York Mets pulled a hell of a trade, a hell of a blockbuster trade. Francisco Lindor was definitely one of the top free agents this year, and I think a lot of us forgot about him. Well, me personally, I don't know how to speak for everybody else, but I completely forgot he was on free agency.
Right.
I completely forgot about it. Not like forgot about him in general, but him and free agency, I completely forgot about it.
Well, you know why? It's because it's been rumored for so long that he was going to be traded. It just never happened until now.
Right, and the rumors were like Trevor Bauer and everybody and everybody else that was on the market. That was the one that everybody was like focusing on, and it's still focusing on, like, where's Trevor Bauer going to go? But we completely forgot about Francisco Lindor being on free agency, and I think honestly, the Mets really did take a steal. They really got a great pitcher that can help them become a third or fourth option. They have Francisco Lindor, who's definitely going to bring that win now mentality to New York that they so desperately need, and I expect a lot of great things this season from the New York Mets.
Absolutely. Congratulations to New York Mets. Congratulations to Francisco Lindor and Carlos Carrasco. I'm very excited to see where this goes.